Hello, my name is Professor Cruz Medina, and something I'd like to talk about today is rhetorical situation. Now, I know when a lot of folks talk about rhetoric in high school, we tend to think of the Aristotelian triangle, as it were, with logos, pathos, and ethos. Of course, that's standing for logic, credibility, and emotion. So, this is an important thing to think about in terms of the appeals that particular speakers make. However, when we talk about the rhetorical situation in our writing courses, we tend to think about what message is the speaker, I'm sorry about that, it says message right there, is trying to convey to the audience. And so we have to think about that always in a given context as well. And this context, of course, is affected by things like genre. What type of text are they doing? Is it a speech? Is it written text? And this will have all kinds of effects on what the audience expects as well of that message. Something in consideration of our context as well is ideology or worldview. Something we're seeing more and more and we're thinking about being critical is we see all kinds of appeals to credibility and logic and even emotion, and often how these are always overlapping with one another as well. However, thinking about how ideology impacts how one interprets the credibility of a speaker or what logic they're willing to accept or not accept, as well as what emotion they respond best to. And then we want to think about, coming back to here, if we're unsure about any of these particular categories, we're always asking ourselves, what in fact is the message? Now, if we don't know the message, we often can decode it by things asking, who is the audience of this text? Part of the reason we might not understand that message is because we're not that particular audience. And at the same time, if we know who that speaker is, if we know a little bit about either their credibility or something about their ideology, we might think, okay, we can understand why they might make this particular kind of argument. And then at the same time, genre. If we know the expectations of a particular kind of text, like an advertisement or a political cartoon, well, then we understand what kind of appeals, whether it's humor, whether it's fear or desire, or emotion or credibility it's attempting to appeal to. That helps us understand, in fact, the message and the purpose of the message as well. Thanks.